unites people. Armies. Gold. Flags. Stories. We're in the great game now. And the great game is terrifying.
Welcome back to Westeros Unveiled, your podcast deep dive into the world of Game of Thrones. Before we begin today, a quick note. We'll be discussing mature themes, including sensitive topics that are present in George R.R. Martin's books. Listener discretion is advised.
With that in mind, today we're shifting gears to another massive source of fan discussion. All those plot lines the show just left hanging.
That's right, Nexus. While the series finale gave us an ending, it certainly didn't tie up every loose thread. In fact, some were cut entirely, much to the fandom's dismay.
Exactly. We're talking about storylines that had huge implications in the books, but either got severely truncated, changed, or completely vanished from the screen.
Let's start with a really painful one for book readers. The truth about Tyrion Lannister's first wife, Tysha.
Oh, the infamous Tysha. In the show, she's mentioned briefly as a prostitute Tyrion married. Tywin later reveals she was paid for her services and subjected to abuse as a lesson.
Yes, but the book context is far more brutal and absolutely foundational to Tyrion's character. In the books, Tysha was a crofter's daughter, genuinely loved by a young, naive Tyrion. They eloped, a true, heartfelt union.
And Tywin, enraged by this shameful match, forced Tyrion to watch as Tysha was raped repeatedly by his guardsmen, with Tyrion being forced to participate last, paying her a single silver coin afterwards. Tywin then told her she was a whore all along.
This lie, this profound violation and deep betrayal by his father festered in Tyrion for years. It's the ultimate source of his visceral hatred for Tywin.
Which made his confession in the cells before killing Tywin so incredibly impactful in the books. Wherever whores go. Not all whores, father. Some go to their gods, some go to their graves. But you, father, you always went to Casterly Rock. And Tyrion's last words to him before the crossbow bolt, Tysha, revealed just how deep that wound was.
The show omitting the full traumatic truth of Tysha, reducing her role, arguably lessens the tragic depth of Tyrion's character and the pure venom of his parricide. It was a massive deviation that still resonates with fans.
All right, from one omission to a plot line that was present, but almost unrecognizable. Dorne.
Dorne. The show's handling of Dorne is probably one of the most widely criticized aspects of its later seasons.
In the books, Dorne is a vibrant, culturally rich, and politically distinct region. Their inheritance laws are different, allowing women to inherit before men, which make them unique. And Prince Doran Martell is a master strategist.
Exactly. Dorne, despite his illness, is playing a very long game, quietly plotting revenge for the murder of his sister Elia Martell and her children. He has multiple agents and a complex network of schemes, including sending his son Quentyn to marry Daenerys and attempting to marry off his daughter Arianna to Viserys.
And the Sand Snakes, Aaliyah's bastard daughters, are formidable, distinct individuals with their own motivations and martial skills. They're not a unified, impulsive group.
The show, however, drastically streamlined this. Dorne became far less impactful, seemingly indecisive, and was swiftly assassinated. The elaborate plots were gone.
The Sand Snakes were reduced to a largely one-dimensional, impulsive group, and their storyline, which involved poisoning Myrcella and quickly taking Sunspear, felt rushed and lacked the intricate political maneuvering of the books. Key characters like Arianna and Quentyn were entirely cut.
This simplification, or some might say outright undermining, stripped Dorne of its political depth, its unique culture, and many beloved book characters, leaving fans baffled and disappointed by the wasted potential.
Speaking of characters who vanished or had their importance diminished, let's talk about House Reed, specifically Howland Reed.
Howland Reed, the ultimate missing link. For book readers, he's a crucial figure. He's the only living witness to the Tower of Joy.
The Tower of Joy, the place where Jon Snow's true parentage was revealed, Lyanna Stark and Rhaegar Targaryen's son.
And Howland Reed was there. He's the one who could publicly corroborate Ned Stark's story about Lyanna's death and Jon's birth. He's the key to legitimizing Jon's claim.
But in the show, he only appears in Bran's fleeting vision. He never leaves the Neck. He never comes to Winterfell. He never testifies to Jon's true identity.
It left many fans scratching their heads. Why introduce Jon's lineage with such fanfare if the one person who could truly confirm it for the wider world never appears?
And what about his children, Jojen and Mira? Jojen dies beyond the wall, but Mira, who dragged Bran all that way, just leaves. No resolution for her, no acknowledgement of her immense sacrifice, no return to her father?
This was a massive missed opportunity to use a pivotal character to resolve one of the series' biggest mysteries in a more satisfying public manner.
Now, let's move across the narrow sea to a plotline that was completely absent from the show. The story of Young Griff and the Golden Company.
This is a huge one for book readers. Illyrio Mopatis, the Magister of Pentos, who initially hosted Daenerys, is far more than just a host. He's part of a grand conspiracy alongside Varys.
Their plan involves supporting a supposed Targaryen heir, Young Griff, who claims to be Aegon VI, Rhaegar Targaryen's son, who supposedly survived the sack of King's Landing.
This creates a legitimate third claimant to the throne, distinct from Daenerys and Cersei.
In the show, Illyrio's role was largely diminished after season 1, and the entire Young Griff storyline was cut. The Golden Company does eventually show up, but they're reduced to Cersei's hired muscle, stripping them of their unique history and allegiances to the Targaryen cause.
This omission significantly altered the political landscape of Westeros in the show's later seasons. It removed a major source of conflict and intrigue, and a potential twist regarding the true heir that could have made Daenerys' claim even more complicated. It leaves a massive what-if hanging over the entire narrative.
And finally, a brief but intriguing character whose story was left completely unfinished, Quaithe of the Shadowlands.
She was that mysterious masked woman who gives Daenerys cryptic, ominous prophecies in Qarth. Beware the perfumed seneschal, the mummer's dragon, and other dark warnings.
Exactly. Her warnings hinted at betrayal and future challenges for Daenerys, and her true identity and motives are a source of constant fan speculation in the books. Is she good? Is she evil? Does she have her own agenda?
In the show, Quaithe appeared briefly in Season 2 and then simply vanished. Her prophecies were largely unfulfilled or simplified, and her character's purpose was left completely unresolved.
For many fans, her disappearance was a missed opportunity to add more depth, mystery, and prophetic guidance to Daenerys' tumultuous journey. We still don't know her fate or the full meaning of her urgent warnings.
These are just some of the major plot lines that were either cut or dramatically altered in the show, leaving book readers with so many unanswered questions.
And that's precisely why the discussions around these unresolved elements keep the world of Westeros alive, eagerly anticipating George R.R. Martin's next books.
Exactly. They underscore the sheer depth and complexity of the A Song of Ice and Fire universe beyond what could ever fit on screen.
What are your most frustrating unresolved plotlines from Game of Thrones? Let us know in the comments below.
And join us next time on Westeros Unveiled, where we'll be diving into the most mind-blowing Game of Thrones fan theories you need to know. Subscribe now so you don't miss it.